Thank you for joining us on this Friday, October 10th, 2015. FSU Weather. I'm meteorologist Ulises Garcia.
And I'm student meteorologist Tyler and Harten. You know, today, Ulises, it was pretty warm outside. Temperatures were in the middle 80s. It was kind of uncomfortable going to class today.
Yeah, it was really definitely uncomfortable, definitely warm out there. You can definitely feel conditions are definitely changing out there now as we're going into the weekend.
It was pretty cold yesterday morning. It got down to 57 degrees. Today, this morning, it was 72, so it got up 15 degrees warmer than it was yesterday. But enough about here. We're going to talk about the major weather story all around the nation. That's the rainfall in Charleston. Yeah,
the rainfall in the Carolinas was just impressive, just the way it all happened last weekend. The good news is, though, there's the rain chances. There's still some rain chances, but nowhere historical like it was last weekend.
Yeah, areas like Mount Pleasant, North Carolina, just got a fire hose of rain associated with an upper level low that was actually over us, and it got up to 25 inches of rain there. So it's nice to see that they're drying out now.
Yeah, they're drying out, but definitely, you know, they've been affected from, you know, just lifestyles to even just sporting events like the University of South Carolina playing in Baton Rouge over there at LSU.
Yeah, that should be a good game. But you know what's going to be a better game? It's the FSU Miami game, and we're going to go to a report with Zach and Jay right now.
Tyler, guys, back at the station. It's a lovely day outside. We do have a few sprinkles happening across the area right now. Jay, very warm conditions. Stadium's already lining up. In front of us, the Hyundai football truck just arrived. They're setting up a great weekend.
Yes, indeed. You see the band practicing right, I won't say in front of us right now, but again, they're going to be right behind us for a game against Miami at 8 o'clock. So it's quite a great one to go and have some fun. It's going to be a very good rivalry for the ages.
Exactly. Of course, Florida State won the past 5 between Doak Campbell and down in Coral Gables. I'll have the full breakdown on that, as well as Jay talking about some stuff we can do this weekend.
Yeah, especially for today. The downtown get down is today. I'll tell you more about that when I get to my report segment, but of course, we love it here so far.
Exactly. We'll send it back to you guys at the desk, but we'll be back with more continuing coverage.
Thank you so much, Zach and Jay. But instead of talking about the game, thank you for that report, by the way, we're going to go over into a more worldwide discussion about the coral reefs across the nation and the world and how they're being affected by the El Nino.
Yes, the coral reefs, they had their third global coral bleach, and definitely has been affected by the El Nino.
Yes, actually warmer temperatures cause the algae to expel their sort of exoskeleton and reveals their inner skeleton.
Yes.
And,
it definitely reveals that that white color. Definitely, it reveals that white color, and obviously, you know, these affected the reefs all throughout the world. You know, the Great Barrier Reef in Australia, the Florida Keys, and such.
And you know, the ecosystems really depend on the biodiversity of coral reefs because they're one of the most biodiverse ecosystems in the entire country, so they're really important to us. But now we're going to send it over to Casey with our first local.
Thanks so much, guys. Let's get right into the Doppler radar across our region here on this Friday. We are tracking a few isolated showers out to the west that are worth noting, even a little bit of lightning being indicated in some of these over the last hour or so out to the west of Wilma, west of Liberty County. It's probably started to affect Liberty County over the next half hour or so, with some isolated sprinkles and a few downpours as well. So just make sure you have your umbrella handy if you're going to some of those communities. And if you're driving in that area, make sure you have your windshield wipers on as well. Now, radar kind of brought in it so we can kind of see what's going on. Earlier, there was some moisture here in the Gulf of Mexico. It's trying to make it into some of our southern counties, but this has since weakened. But again, we still have that shower activity starting to make its way into our western counties, which will be something that we need to be talking about here in our forecast as we get over the next 12 to 24 hours, as we could have a chance for some isolated showers and thunderstorms around. Now, across our area right now, we're sitting at 84 in Tallahassee, 80 in St. Mark, 77 Apalachicola, upper 70s, lower 80s are the story across our region here on this Friday. Relatively nice conditions are around for the most part, just a few temperatures that are a little bit on the warm side. And those wind speeds, not too big of a factor, 3.5, 6 miles an hour, really not too big of a concern in our counties at this hour. But what I'm going to do right now is go on to our forecast for tonight. We see 69 degrees for Tallahassee, Temperatures here across our area will be something to keep a close eye on this afternoon and this evening. We see upper 60s, lower 70s, 70 in Campbell as well. And then tomorrow for that big game, it's always important. We see 68 degrees. It'll be a nice morning around. We see maybe even a chance of an isolated thunderstorm possible. So make sure if you're tailgating, just have that umbrella handy, that poncho ready, as we could have a quick shower or two move through our region. But then as our rain chances, they'll start falling throughout the rest of the evening hours, as we should have relatively nice conditions for the game against the Hurricanes. We see tomorrow at 8 p.m., we'll be seeing 70s, Noles versus Hurricanes, isolated shower possible, 10% chance, and those winds that are only about 5 miles an hour, so they shouldn't have too big of a factor in the kicking game. I know that's impacted some of those games in the past. That's big rivalry, but hopefully we can get that victory tomorrow against Miami. Now, 7-day forecast-wise, we see low to mid-80s for the next 7 days. Those temperatures cooling down a little bit as we get later in the period with a few isolated chances for showers. But right now, we'll go ahead and take a closer look toward the southeast with Jordan.
Thanks so much, Casey. As we look at our current satellite and radar, we do have a couple pop-up showers just south of Tallahassee right now, nearing further towards Tampa. But as we go into Miami and rest of South Florida, they do have a couple of showers, maybe some flooding possible because they have had a lot of rain recently. We can see way up here near Alabama and Mississippi, we have the cold front coming through, and it's very noticeable up here, as you can see, with all of that lightning. As we go into the next graphic, which one of my favorite graphics, there's all this lightning up here. Not much severe weather by any means, but something to definitely look out for. As we go into the current conditions, it is cloudy in our region right now, 84 degrees, but as we creep farther north, especially by Little Rock, 69 degrees, Shreveport being the hot spot at 82 degrees, and down near South Florida, I should say, 85 and 83 in Key West and Miami. Relative humidity, you can see we have a lot of higher humidity in South Florida, and the farther you go north, the drier it gets. It's actually very noticeable with our water vapor imagery here. The orange color represents the dry moisture out there, while the green represents the very humid and sticky, uncomfortable weather that Floridians are used to, but still don't like at all. As we go into the 24-hour temperature change, it's been very variable throughout most of the region. Not much of a change throughout Florida, but as we go right behind my head, right where that cold front is, Little Rock, a 19-degree temperature difference, and Tupelo seeing up to 9 degrees as that rain keeps them nice and warm right now. Tonight's forecast, really all over the place throughout the entire southeast. We can see 54 in Little Rock, 58 in Tupelo. As we go farther and farther south, it is going to reach very warm temperatures for the evening. Tomorrow's forecast, 87 in Key West, 88 in Miami. We are going to see a lot more rain showers throughout most of the region, but we don't expect it to impact our game day so much, only a 10% chance as for our game day. So do bring a poncho just in case, because it is Tallahassee and we never want to rule out the chance of a stray shower. But for now, we are going to take it off to Jay with one of our live reports.
Tell us as to what's going to happen starting tonight in relation to the Florida State-Miami rivalry, what people can do.
Yes, you know, every time we have a home game, we always have a downtown get-down. It's from 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock tonight. We have a very great band performing tonight, the Flatland featuring Karate Chop Kid. So we're going to be a very...
Karate Chop Kid. I love that name.
Yeah, more like Sunshine Kid, I should be saying. But again, it's always got live food, live food, of course, live vendors. So come on and have some fun. I know everyone's going to be super excited about tonight. And there's a great forecast for it, too. It's only about 30% chance of rain for tonight. So, and around 68 degrees. So it's been quite a great one for downtown get down.
And what about stuff tomorrow? I'm sure plenty of tailgates as well going on. What can people maybe get out and do? What's the weather looking like?
The weather's looking pretty nice for most of the day. I mean, still, it's like today, it's only about 30% chance of rain, so not too much to be worried about. I know we have our own AMS NBA tailgate at 3:30, so come on and have some fun with us. You see both of us and everyone back in the studio as well.
Exactly.
Seeing a lot more of that.
Exactly. So we'll have plenty of stuff to go on. Downtown Get Down, let's talk about it. Have you ever been?
Yes, I have been. My very first football game, actually, I went with my best friend, and we had an absolute blast there. So that was very good.
It's always a fun time to go. Downtown Get Down and the Friday night block party. Again, both downtown that you can head to tonight. We've got some live bands there, some food. Absolutely love the food vendors as well.
Yeah, it's great fun for all kids of all ages, including the adults as well. It's great for everyone involved.
Exactly. I believe last year we did a live shot from the Downtown Get Down featuring Chase Rice. Fantastic. Everybody kind of went out and enjoyed that. So, of course, everybody, like Jay was saying, needs to get out to the Downtown Get Down, go out to the block party, and then weather tomorrow for the tailgating. Looking very, very good overall.
About 30% chance of rain, like I mentioned before. So when the game actually does start, there's a slight chance of rain goes up just a bit. But again, we already talked about KC about that earlier. It's only going to be about 71 degrees when the game actually finishes from when it actually starts.
All right.
So.
Perfect. Well, Jay, thanks. We'll send it on back to the desk as well. Guys, tell us what's coming up.
All right, thanks, Zach and Jay. Let's first talk about the tropics. Hurricane climatology for this time of the year in the month of October, mostly forming over the Caribbean and into the western Atlantic. The Gulf Stream is really where these storms get a lot of their energy for the month of October. But right now, very quiet. The only tropical activity is actually in the eastern Pacific with Tropical Depression 18. And that's meandering between Mexico and Hawaii. In the lower 48, however, 79 degrees in Billings, a toasty 94 degrees in Phoenix. Very uniform when it comes to those 80s and 90s, and a cool 59 degrees in Detroit with that cloud cover dominating the northern half of the country. Watches and warnings. We do have high wind and high wind watches and warnings in effect for Montana until Sunday. Heat advisories in California. We also do have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 8 o'clock Eastern time over Pennsylvania and New Jersey. A severe thunderstorm warning in effect as well over the Baltimore area, Howard County, Baltimore County. So watch out for any heavy hail. But that moisture really pumped from that frontal system over the northeastern portion of the country. Very little drier whatsoever. We also do have a frontal system out in the west coast, but you can definitely see that front all the way throughout the east coast, all the way down to Texas. This is going to be the big playmaker for the southeast as we go into our Saturday. You can definitely see that Little Rock, Nashville, Washington, D.C., a really soggy ride all throughout. And as we push further up to the west, very hot in California. Temperatures right now into the low 100s near the San Diego, Los Angeles area. A couple of showers associated over Seattle into British Columbia and southern Alaska due to the remnants of Oho. And one final look, that Washington, D.C. is getting ready to get hit. That I-95 drive from Washington, D.C. to Boston is definitely going to be a soggy one on this Friday evening. So the megalopolis is definitely getting hit. 17-minute delays in Minneapolis, 62 minutes in New York. And this is all due to the simple fact that the thunderstorms in the northeast is actually affecting portions out to the west. Tonight's temperatures 40s and 50s up to the north, a very toasty 60s and 70s in the south. And by the time we go into our Saturday, very warm for the western two-thirds of the country. The real cool spot is out in the east with 60 degrees in Boston. But now we're going to send it over to Tyler with a look of our local.
Thank you so much, Ulises. And now Ulises brought you the national, and I'm going to take it back into our local area in Tallahassee. And actually right now it's 84 degrees in Tallahassee. It's really warm and humid around the area, evidenced by that dew point around 70 degrees. Our low temperature this morning was 14 degrees warmer at 71 versus 57 on Thursday morning. Why is the wind and the humidity coming in from the southeast, and why is the humidity so high? Well, the winds are coming out of the Gulf, and that's provided some return flow, so therefore temperatures around the area are really in the lower to middle 80s around the region. This is about 3 or 4 degrees above the average for this time of year. However, it feels closer to 90 degrees with the amount of humidity. And also with the humidity, we have a chance of showers later tonight into tomorrow. You can see some of that coming in the far western reaches of our forecast area over into Liberty County and also into Calhoun County near Brownstown. That will be moving eastward later tonight into tomorrow, bringing in about a 30% chance of rain across the region. Now, why is that happening? Well, we have the return flow I talked about from the south. We also have a cold front way up there towards the north in Arkansas. That's why it's about 20 degrees colder there than it was 24 hours ago. That will converge across the area and slow down and stall just to the south of us. It's a pretty weak cold front, but there's just enough lift in the atmosphere to cause a rain chance of about 20% tomorrow. The best chance of that happening, besides tonight, is tomorrow in the early and mid-afternoon hours. Plotting things right here at 9 o'clock, you can see where the main area of cold front is up into upstate South Carolina and Georgia. That will translate a little bit further east of us, and hopefully, with any luck, we should get around gain time with the rain mainly towards the east of us in areas like Gainesville and Jacksonville. But there's still a 10% chance, so we're definitely not ruling it out. Also, tomorrow the UV index will be very high, so be sure to wear sunscreen. On the sand, if you decide that the game isn't what you want to do and you want to go to the water, 1 foot or less, and it's going to be a pretty light wind day and water temperatures in the mid-70s. Tonight, temperatures will be warm, lows around 70s with some thunderstorms, and for the game tomorrow, temperatures will be dropping throughout the 70s. Going into the 7-day forecast, the cold front comes through and temperatures stagnating around 80 degrees next week. But now we're going to go send it back over to the desk.
Thanks so much there, Tyler. Now let's get right into some of our local weather history and talk about Tifton, Georgia.
It seems they've had a lot of rain recently, I should say. Multiple hail, actually, some the size of pennies, you should say, or quarters even.
Yes, some isolated areas did see that type of hail now. There was even a report of 1.75 inches worth in size, that is, in diameter of hail in Tifton, Georgia, Tift County on this day 7 years ago, October 9, 2008. Caused some minor damage, and that's pretty big hail for this part of the country. The atmospheric dynamics were just right to be able to set that up.
Of course, you also want to be careful with your cars leaving out there. That's why you should always try and park in the garage, especially in Florida. You never know when hail could be the case, or even just the thunderstorms. Broken branches, too, could always damage your property. But for now, we are going to take it out to Ulises with the National.
All right, thanks, Jordan. As we look at the Sunshine State at this hour, a beautiful 82 degrees in Pensacola with sunny skies, 85 in Key West. A lot of the cloud cover is more towards the interior from Jacksonville all the way down into Miami. Today's lows, though, a lot more warmer, especially up into the north. You definitely notice that humidity factor, folks, especially on this Friday morning. 71 in Tallahassee, 67 in Jacksonville. The usual mid-70s to low 80s still in South Florida. It feels like summer down there for them. Water vapor, you can definitely see all that green, which is that humid air just starting to invade Florida. And this is ahead of a frontal system that's over into the middle Mississippi Valley, beginning to push closer towards us as we go into our Saturday and Sunday. Radar shows very little activity, especially over towards the north. There's a couple more isolated showers. We do see the greater concentration, folks, though, over into the southern tier, especially over Dade County, into parts of the southwest coast. We break it down region by region. We do see those storms just to the southwest of Tallahassee over Calhoun and Jackson County. That's where the showers are over, but they're eventually going to head towards Tallahassee, so that could affect your downtown get-down activities if you're going out tonight. Towards the east coast, we do have a coastal flood advisory in effect until tomorrow, until 6 a.m. So definitely watch out for those high tide waters over the Jacksonville beaches all the way down to Daytona. When it comes further south, though, we do see more quieter activity on the I-4 drive from Tampa to Daytona. Some showers over into Sarasota. A couple of showers starting to develop with that daytime sea breeze. Also now pushing into West Palm Beach, folks. So if you're driving over the Latana area, Palm Beach, Hippolyxo, Delray Beach, watch out for those showers. And further south into Miami-Dade as well, and even as part of the Alligator Alley into Collier, Lee, Charlotte County, definitely a soggy ride all throughout the I-75 drive, and near Lake Okeechobee as well. So definitely give yourself a couple of extra minutes. That Futurecast radar, though, as we go into our Saturday, definitely pleasant conditions overall, but conditions do begin to change, especially by the time we get to our Saturday afternoon, folks. With that frontal system now affecting the northern half of the state, we see showers from Jacksonville to Orlando, so definitely the UCF and USF games respectively could be affected. And by the time we get into our Sunday, Tampa should be also in the midst of showers with the Buccaneers and the Jaguars duking it out as well. So definitely may have those ponchos ready for some of those showers as that frontal system from the north invades us. Tonight, however, temperatures will be into the middle to upper 70s up into the north, upper 70s towards the south. And by the time we get to our Saturday, a mix of sun and clouds, especially for the West Coast. However, beautiful times out there to go to the beach. However, on the East Coast, that I-95 drive, definitely going to be a struggle when it comes to those thunderstorms just flaring up from Jacksonville to Miami. But temperatures very uniform for the month of October, with those temperatures climbing into the 80s, folks. And now we're going to begin to send it over to another segment with Zach.
All right, thanks so much, guys. Now we're sending back over to us. And Zach, I know you have a little more info about the key factors associated with the Florida State versus Miami game.
Exactly. It's time for our Seminole Sports Wrap. First off, let's start off with the history, Jay. Of course, one of the biggest rivalries in college football, if not the best. Of course, tons of college football writers have even talked about this possibly being one of the best rivalries in college football. Of course, the longest streak in this rivalry goes to Florida State. That's 7 games. Currently, the longest streak goes to Florida State as well with 5 games. So, of course, if we win tomorrow, we're trying to keep that streak up, trying to at least advance ourselves to next year where we could advance to either tying or beating our streak. Of course, right now, again, we're sitting at that current streak at 5 games. Now, we get into more stuff on what the Seminoles need to do to win.
Yes, I know, for example, I know we have a lot of players out for this game. I know he had a lot of injuries, Dalvin Cook being the biggest one of all. That's our big running game right there.
Yeah, so Dalvin Cook has actually practiced for the past 2 days into practice. Now, Coach Jimbo Fisher said that he could begin to see a limited role this weekend. So don't rule that tough guy, Dalvin Cook, out yet, that true freshman running back. But we do also have to talk on the running back game. Mario Pender, who ran into his own offensive lineman on our bye week, finally out of the hospital, but is ruled out. Again, he had a collapsed lung back on the bye week when they were practicing, ran into an offensive lineman.
Well, that's not good, because I mean, that's our first string or running back and our second string right there. So basically, we expect a lot more Everett Golson to throw a lot more, so more of a battle with wide receivers and quarterbacks.
Exactly. Expect Everett Golson to throw more, and also expect to see third string running back Jonathan Vickers taking a very lead role. Again, if we see Dalvin Cook, expect him to have more of a limited role. Also, Terrence Brooks, our senior linebacker, also ruled out of that game with an ankle injury.
All right, do you know of any injuries on the Miami side of things?
Miami continues to kind of dwell in injury status with their wide receivers, which doesn't bode well for their quarterback, their senior quarterback, Kaka. He is coming back in and still missing a lot of that in his wide receiver core. So expect that third down conversion slump that Miami's having to continue to be put in a slump, especially with a defense, a Knowles defense that has improved greatly since last year.
All right, that's a lot of factors associated with that. Now, what do you know the coverage spread for our games?
Right now, Seminoles expected to win by 7.5 points. It's going to be a down-in-the-trenches battle, Jay.
Yeah, I know earlier we were up for 9 points. Now he lowered that down to 7, so it's going to be a big battle between us and the Hurricanes.
Exactly. Again, tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern on ABC, the game of the week.
Yes, but do we have a forecast for that as well?
Yeah, we'll be looking at some partly cloudy skies. Now, again, we could see an afternoon shower roll through the afternoon hours, but once that sun sets, expect that shower activity to kind of diminish. It still may feel a little bit humid since those summer-like temperatures coming back.
All right, well, that's the forecast for you, and more of the key players associated with the Florida State versus Miami game. Now send it back over to the guys at the studio.
Thanks so much, Zach and Jay. Great having team coverage there at Doak Campbell Stadium, getting the coverage of that all-important game against the Miami Hurricanes tomorrow for the Seminoles. But real quick, severe thunderstorm watch in the Northeast is in effect right now. Some strong, severe storms in areas around Philadelphia.
Absolutely. They did have a tornado warning earlier today around 5:15. There aren't any reports of damages as of now, but we are going to keep our eye on that just to be sure. But for now, we are going to take it out to Matt with his first local.
Hey, thanks, guys. Taking a look at the local radar, we're going to see some showers rolling through our area out in the western counties. As for Tallahassee and further east, we're looking pretty clear, pretty dry. Currently on campus, though, it's 84 degrees, mostly cloudy. It's been overcast the later portions of the day. Dew points at 69, humidity's at 61, so it's not feeling too muggy, and we have some light 5-mile-an-hour winds out of the south-southeast, keeping us nice and breezy. If you take a look at the local temperatures throughout the Big Bend region, we're seeing mid-80s throughout much of it. 84 in Tallahassee. If you look up in Bainbridge, Thomasville, 82. Now down at the coast, Apalachicola and Carabel, we are seeing things are going to be a little cooler. The relative humidity in this area, we're seeing pretty mild values, 61 in Tallahassee, 69 in St. Mark's. But if you look down at the coast where I said it was cooler earlier, Apalachicola, Carabel, we're seeing a lot higher values. So although it is cooler, it is a little muggy down there. If you look at the futurecast temperatures, tonight, 8 p.m., we're looking at mid-70s throughout much of the region. As I said, cooler down on the coast. Going into Saturday morning, we're going to see low 70s throughout much of it, and that's looking a lot more uniform throughout a lot of this area. 74 in Perry, 73 in Valdosta, a little bit higher. Going into Saturday evening around 3 p.m., we will be seeing 82 in Tallahassee, cooler on the coast as it has been. Up in southern Georgia, 83 in Bainbridge, 84 in Thomasville, 82 in Mariana. As we progress that graphic onto Sunday morning, by 8 in the morning, we'll be seeing 68 in Tallahassee, 67 in Monticello. Things really uniform throughout a lot of this area, low 60s, getting up into the low 70s down on the coast. Tallahassee tonight, it's going to be 69 degrees with some thunderstorms possible. Be a pretty mild night with winds out of the northeast at 5 miles an hour. So while you should be able to go out and have a good time, I would go throw an umbrella in the trunk just on the off chance that we do see an isolated shower or two. As for your game day tomorrow, Florida State's taking on the Hurricanes. 8 a.m., if you're up at that time, it's going to be 68. It'll be a nice morning. If you're like me and you're up around noon, you're going to be seeing temperatures of 78 with some isolated thunderstorms possible. By the time we get to 5 in the afternoon, closer to game day, we're going to see those rain chances falling. Temperatures by then will have gotten up to 84. As I said, we're taking on the Hurricanes for your game night forecast at Doak Campbell Stadium. We're seeing temperatures in the 70s with a 10% chance of rain. We're currently projected to be at 79 at kickoff and 71 by the end of the game. An isolated shower or two, but nothing to worry about. If anything does creep through our area, it'll be momentary. As for the 7-day forecast, we're seeing some chances of rain tomorrow night, 20%. Now that is associated with a cold front that's going to be rolling through our area, and it's going to be keeping highs in the low 80s throughout much of the rest of the week. Take a look, Monday, Tuesday, lows at 59 and 61 degrees. But for now, we're going to send it back to the desk where Casey and Jordan are going to wrap things up.
Thanks so much, Matt. That was absolutely great for your first forecast. I remember my first forecast. That was only 2 weeks ago. Hard to believe. Felt like I've been here forever.
Yeah, congrats, Matt, on your first weather forecast here on the FSU Weather Show, and to many more ahead. Now, let's go ahead and look at that 7-day forecast. We do see that there will be some warm conditions relatively tomorrow before that cool front does make its way through our area. We're starting to see a bit of a cooling trend with some chances of rain around tomorrow, but then starting to drop off.
Absolutely, and it does absolutely. Of course, on Sunday and Monday, highs of only 80 degrees, and lows are just going to stay in the very low 60s and even high 50s as we go throughout the rest of the week. Low rain chances, too, so the only chance of rain we see is tomorrow, a 20% chance, but you can never get rid of a stray shower. But be sure to follow us on social media, facebook.com/FSU Weather.
Yeah, so you can like us on Facebook at facebook.com, of course, /FSU Weather, and you can also watch us at any time on livestream.com/FSU Weather. But for now, I'm Casey Clapp.
And I'm Jordan Frazier. Have a great night, Tallahassee. Get ready for the game day.
Thanks so much for joining us here on this Friday evening.